YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Just something a little bit. Ooh, where did this come from? A little bit of a Genshin tier list. Where did he pull this one out of? Straight up, I was just sat here. I was just thinking to myself. I was just vibing a little bit, and I went, you know what, dude? I kind of feel like doing a tier list for a little bit. I like a good tier list. We did the Pokemon starter tier list on the main channel. We did the Avatar characters tier list on this channel. We're going to do a Genshin tier list. We're going to do a Genshin characters tier list in terms of just kind of everything, I guess. The characters, how they are to play as, etc. It's just the characters. We're doing the characters. It is what it is. It's a characters tier list. We don't have to worry about it too much. I figured I may as well because I already have the webcam set up because I just recorded my personality quiz. If you haven't seen that, that went up earlier in the week at some point. We're going to do a Genshin tier list. Pre-disclaimer, pre-warning before I start this. The videos on this channel, in my head, go as far as maximum 3 people that I know. So when I make these videos, I'm like, it's fine, it's whatever, people know me, I can say what, it doesn't matter. If this video happens, if you're an individual who doesn't know me, you happen to have stumbled across this video and you want to hear some opinions on Genshin, first of all, let me just say this, they are just my opinions. Second of all, let me just say this, I have a history of having bad opinions. I promise, this is all in good. It's all in good faith. It's all just like a nice, jokey, light-hearted. I'm here for a good time. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But I promise this isn't something that's to be taken seriously to absolutely any degree whatsoever. Disclaimer out of the way. Let's rate some Genshin characters. Allow me to just awkwardly switch because I don't really want to edit this if possible. Let's just switch to the right scene. Ooh, baby. Okay, so this is 1.3, which I believe is the latest. I see Albedo in here. I see Ganyu in here, so this is pretty much the latest. And it was as you can imagine, with just about any tier list we tend to get, there was about 50 of them, and this one's pretty good actually. This I actually quite like this one. I think this has got everyone. Just wanted to, as I usually like to do with the tier list videos, highlight some of the absolute garbage that I came across whilst trying to find this tier list. I mean, Genshin Impact thighs, females only. Why am I not surprised? Genshin Impact waifus tier list maker, that one makes sense. Fair enough, not surprised to see that, call her the waifu. 100 plus Genshin Impact ships tier list makers. What is this nonsense? Like, what am I even looking at, dude? Clean Chi-Chi? These are children, you weirdos. Why does this stuff exist? Anyway, I just wanted to highlight some of the garbage. So, if you're not familiar with my tiering system, I based it on the Avatar one that I used. Essentially, S, A, B, C, D, E. Oh my god, that took way too long to remember what comes after the letter B. We've got Amber. You can probably guess where I'm going with that one. We've got Stan is not a strong enough word. We've got Yes, a great character. We've got I think they're pretty good. We've got they're alright. And we've got Get this character out of here right this second. We're going to start with shit, I've forgotten his name. The main character. What's this dude called? I know this is Lumine. I learned his name, Aether. We're going to start with Aether. I don't really have much to say about the starting characters. I play as Boy Twin, is what I was calling him until about a week ago, and I found out his actual name. I currently have him on Geo mode, just because I've been trying to get the Geoculuses. Shout out to Not So Livid for helping me do those the past 2 or 3 nights. We finally got the last one last night, as I'm recording this, although I don't think this is going to go up until like 3 or 4 days from now. For a little while, I liked him. I used his move. I liked getting fire going and then using his move to kind of blast, his E move to blast fire, his elemental burst. I don't really use him that much. I think he's alright. I think he has his moments. I know some people like to have them leveled alongside, which is something I was doing up until about 40 or 50. I think he's been 50 for quite a while now, though. I don't really use him anymore. And since I got Jean, I think Jean is just... I don't really have use for his Animo anymore, and I think his Geo is just completely useless in combat outside of like puzzle purposes. And while we're here, we may as well stick Lumine up there, stick them together. Albedo, straight up. So this is probably another disclaimer I should have given. I haven't used every character. Some of it is based on friends who have and have used those characters that I've played co-op with. Or some of it is just based on videos there's like a very small handful of characters I've just watched some videos on to get an idea. Most of them I've either used myself or have played with friends who have used them to a decent level. Albedo I completely forgot existed and did not really check. So I'm going to just put him in alright, and we're going to just consider that to be an NA, just because I don't really remember much about him, because I think he's the only one on the list I forgot to check. Amber, okay, this is going to be your point of contention. I have relentless, vehement hatred from left, from right, from the middle towards Amber, and I sometimes will lean on if I have a slightly different opinion, I'll lean on it a little bit. My favourite Star Wars movie is Attack of the Clones. Do I care that much? Not really, but sometimes I kind of lean on it a little bit because it's kind of funny to be like, oh, and it genuinely is. I've seen all the Star Wars movies. Attack of the Clones is genuinely my favourite one, but I also don't really care that much, but I'll play it up a little bit because sometimes it's a bit fun. Amber, I see people's tier lists. The fact that she's consistently, like, low down, genuinely, and I say genuinely a lot, but I mean it, it baffles me because I don't understand, and I think part of it is you can make any character strong with the right build, with the right artifacts, weapon, get their talent level up, etc, right? I've had Amber. She's the first character you get beyond who you start as, right? Everyone has Amber. It baffles me that people don't like her. My Amber, I don't know if I've just set her up right. The only reason I initially went with Amber, I've got to be entirely honest, I saw her name, and then that's it. Now look, I don't want to do any doxing here, but if you're an individual who knows me, you probably know the reason I have an affinity for that particular name. That said, initially I wasn't drawn to her because I was like, hey, she looks like a really good character. I was drawn to her for what admittedly is a dumb reason, and then I kind of just went full send on that reason, and then at that point it was too late to go back. She's really good though, in my opinion. I came round to her. It wasn't like I ever disliked her. It just I initially started using her for a weird reason, admittedly. But I feel like she's good, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I like ranged characters in games like this. I like pseudo support characters where it's like you're not the main damage dealer because you're ranged, but you're not like she's not a support character obviously. But I like ranged characters. But between the sharpshooter's oath, obviously I've got all the talents maxed. I have the sharpshooter's oath maxed up to where I'm at. I'm just about to ascend her to the final level. She's level 80 right now, so I'm just about to ascend her to get her and then pump her up to level 90. And Sharpshooter's Oath is 80, and then I can't remember the name of the artifact set I have, but I have the artifact set. It's Sharpshooter Oath, it's either increased damage to crit spots, or it's increased damage to charge shots, and then my artifact set is the artifact set that gives you increased damage to whichever the other one that Sharpshooter Oath is. So between my artifacts and my bow, I have like 50% to charge shots from bows, and then like 50% to weak spot from bows. And with those combined, plus obviously just maxing everything out, getting attacking artifacts, maxing out her talents, dude, she destroys. She's definitely her. I don't use Baron Bunny a ton anymore, I'll admit, even though the thing where you throw it and then shoot at it to blow it up is pretty sick. Fiery Rain is solid. It's not brilliant, admittedly. Could be a little bit stronger in my opinion, but I think Fiery Rain's perfectly solid. It's annoying when you use it and the enemy just moves out of the way. Happens to me more than I'd like to admit. What can I say? My waifu. Both in Genshin terms and real life terms. So this is Ayaka. I've seen Ayaka. She's an unreleased character. I've only seen... the gameplay I saw from Ayaka was from the beta, which is nuts. She moves like Moana. She goes under the ground when she sprints. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to put her in Albedo terms. I honestly didn't even realise she was on the list just because I don't know much about her yet, but she's unreleased, so I don't feel too bad. Maybe I should have had another tier for Unshores now that I'm thinking about it. Barb is interesting to me. So Barb is still to this day my only water character. The thing about Barb, and I was using her very poorly for a while. For a while, I was like, oh, she's really low damage, so I'm just going to pump her with damage artifacts. Terrible idea. She now has healing artifacts, and she has the Tales of Dragons, or whatever it's called, the one where if you have it as her, and then if you switch to a different character, that character gets a damage boost, which is obviously great for Barbara because you can use her E attack, the healing thing, and then pivot to another character, so that character not only gets the heals, but they also get a bit of a damage boost from the Tales of Dragon attacks, or whatever it's called. She's not brilliant in attack. I really would like Mona, so I have some water offense, or even child or whatever. We'll get to it, but she's not for that. She's not for that. Let's be real. She's as supportive as they come in this game, I would say. Although I've got to admit, she's just so weak, man. Maybe I haven't leveled her health enough. Maybe I need to put more into her health or more into her defense or something. Jean has become more of my priority healer at this point. I'm happy to just wait until I have Jean's ult to heal everyone at once. I still use it. Her friendship level is 7, so I've used her. She's been a staple in my team basically since I've got her. I never have food. She saved me from that because she always has that E move available. Obviously with Jean you have to wait for the ultimate. Barb always has that E available. For that, I've got to give her credit. Beidou is an interesting one. She's one of those ones I had a bit of a phase with where I was like, yeah, Beidou's pretty good. And I think she's level 50 for me or 60. And then I ended up just not really committing to it. I hate when I do that. I've got like 3 characters that are in the same boat that I definitely could have used resources better on. Beidou's counter move, where she charges up and she takes the damage and then unleashes it, is nuts when it's used right. That shit can do in like 20-25k if it's used brilliantly. You've got to get the timing right. I would say I've seen Spink use Beidou a decent bit. She doesn't use it like a lot. Also, again, side note, if anyone happens to have ended up watching this video, I doubt it. I just want to say just in case. If I say NSL, if I say Josh, if I say Spink, if I say Paul, those are just the people in my crew that I play with. Spink uses Beidou, and I've seen her use her decently well. Obviously, I've used her a little bit as well, and Spink has very much said the same thing about how you've got to get used to the timing of the counter thing, but if you use it right, it can be really good. Spink's a fan of Beidou. I'm gonna say I think they're pretty good. I probably haven't used it to a full advantage. I think if you use her well, that critical, no other character has a move like her critical, and it can be absolutely deadly. Speaking of Spink, Bennett. Oh baby, it's a good job she doesn't watch these videos. Okay, Bennett's a bit of a meme, let me say that much. We're all on the same page with Bennett. And I like Bennett because he takes some of the heat off Amber, because there are tier lists out there where I've seen at least 2 tier lists where Amber has been like right at the bottom, but at least Bennett is always below her. And I appreciate him for that. Now I've got to say, I have been told, and again I think this applies to just about every character, I have been told that if you level him up and you put the right artifacts on him and you use him well, he can be very strong. He has fire damage, he does a little bit of healing as well. I don't know what the setup for him is. I believe it. I've got to say, man, he's never worked for me. And even Paul likes him, Spink loves him, but even when I've seen Spink and Paul play as him, I've got to say, I've never been overly impressed. For example, Diona. I can't use Diona. I've not really made her work. I've seen Spink play as Diona a lot, and I've seen how good she can be. Nyangguang, I couldn't make Ning work. I've seen Paul is maxed out as Ning, and she's very, very strong. I've seen them both try with Bennett, and I'm just not. I hate to say it, because Spink likes him so much. I'm gonna find a little bit of a middle ground. I'm gonna put, he's alright. I'm gonna give him his credit. He's trying his best. And we know what I'm like. I have 2 villagers on my Animal Crossing island that I don't even like at all. I have no affinity for whatsoever, but they have a permanent space on my island just because Spink likes them. As far as I'm concerned, those are Spink's villagers. They have Spinklematic community, as I like to call it. I'm going to apply Spinklematic community to Bennett. I'll put him in pretty good. I could not in good faith put him any higher than that because I don't think he's actually that good. I believe you guys. I believe anyone who tells me that he can be good. And then we'll move on before I say something that gets me in trouble. Chongyon. To be fair, I've got in trouble for calling Chongyon bad. I just don't think he's very good, man. And it's funny because I have Kaya and I gave up on him eventually. I got him to 60 and it just wasn't working. So I don't really have a nice character I like. Chongyon, I tried to replace Keiya. It just didn't work for me. I don't know, man. I feel like his moves don't do that much. I feel like his Q's a little bit underwhelming. I just feel like he's kind of a bit of a filler. A bit of a placeholder. Deluxe's pretty cool. Deluxe is a fiery boy. I think he is pretty good. I think as far as... so obviously my favourite fire character is Amber. As far as melee fire characters go... what's this lady's name again? We'll get to her because I want to be careful what I say about her as well because Josh likes her. It's between him or her, I'd say. I think I like him. He's a Claymore character. His E move is just like a big flamey slash. His Q move's pretty sick. He sends out this like massive flamey phoenix. I think you could make him great if you mainlined him. It's not something I've experienced too much of yet. No one in our crew has Deluxe. I know Spink would love to have him, and Child as well she wants. But none of us have Deluxe, so I haven't really got any experience with him. Beyond like test runs or whatever. I think he's pretty good. And I could be persuaded if I saw what he was capable of. I think he's pretty good. Diona. So, again, thanks to Spink, I dread the sight of Diona now. I actually really like Diona. I like her character. I think she's quite funny. There was a mail thing yesterday. It's Wednesday as I'm recording this, so the 18th. That was from Diona, and I don't really know what the hell she was talking about. I think she's a very interesting character. I think her story's interesting. I actually like her. I think she's adorable. The character that Spink tends to take when she plays as Diona has put me off her a little bit. I'm joking, but also I dread the sight of Diona a little bit. But that's an inside joke, so we don't need to go into that too much. Again, she's one of those characters. She's to be fair, she probably could work for me because I'm looking for a nice character and I hadn't even thought about it. Diona is a nice character and she's ranged. I hadn't even considered this until this very moment. She might actually be alright for me, Diona. But based on the fact that I've seen Spink play her a decent amount and she's got a pretty solid, she's not her strongest character, but she's honestly like, she's pretty good. She heals quite well. I honestly think she's okay. I could be convinced that she's great if you use her well. I'm going to say she's pretty good. I think she's pretty good. As a character, I really like her. To play as and for combat and stuff, I think that's pretty fair. Fischl, I fucking love Fischl, man. Stan is not a strong enough word. I missed the Fischl. I did the story and stuff, but I missed the very last bit of the Fischl event that unlocked Fischl. I couldn't beat the co-op bit, and it's a long story. We don't need to go into that. I left it till the last minute basically and couldn't get it done in time by myself. When I was playing to try and get it done, I finally unlocked her with a wish recently, on the last event had her. God, this was who I was trying for ages, and I freaking love her, dude. I love her character design. I love her character and you know her dialogue and the way she is. Her shot is basically just the electric version of Amber's shot, as most of the archery is in the game. I think Oz is really cool. The ultimate, I don't know. I think Oz could be a little bit like, I think it's a little bit weird that like the ultimate is what it is, but I feel like the ultimate maybe should do more, or he should last a little bit longer in my opinion, because he kind of does one big hit and then he just hangs around and is just the E. But the E's really cool. I really like. Also, I don't know what framing's like on this. I can't check because it will just show me Streamlabs, so hopefully it's been okay. I think maybe I want to be here because I don't know where my webcam ends. I only have one monitor, so I can't check how the frame looks at the same time, because as soon as I open Streamlabs I just see this. I love Fischl. Obviously she can't go in Amber tier because that's Amber's tier. Fischl's great. I don't really have. I love Fischl, man. I'm on the brink, and you just need to figure out her artifacts. But I'm on the brink of making her very, very strong. She's my project right now. Ganyu. So Ganyu only just came out like a week and a half ago. Straight up, she's a great character, man. She's super strong. I don't have her. NSL was waiting for her. He saved up like 10,000 Primo Gems, especially for when she came out, because he loves Chi-Chi, and obviously Ganyu is the Coco Goat, so he was saving to try and get the Coco Goat for Chi-Chi. Dude, Ganyu, she people call her Cryo Amber. I can't help but notice that people want to call her Cryo Amber, and yet Coco Goat is universally beloved, and yet Amber is universally hated. But you know what, dude? Social media hypocritical? Never. Never. Dude, Ganyu she's good. Her E move's strong. Her Q move is really strong. I've got to admit, part of why they call her Cryo Amber is was her Q move is like, if Amber's is fiery ice, fiery rain, this is kind of like icy rain. They're very similar Q moves, but Ganyu's for whatever reason feels stronger than Amber's, which I'm not a huge fan of. However, we have noticed, because he saved up for it, NSL just pumped her straight up to level 80. He put artifacts straight on her. He put a strong bow straight on her. He basically, like, she's at least one of his strongest characters, if not his strongest character already. So she's very strong, and I've seen what she's capable of. Linking her with Amber, dude, they are fucking unstoppable. They absolutely, we've discovered this in co-op the past few nights. These two together absolutely shred. And obviously, ice plus fire shreds. I've hot switched with Kaya and Amber. I've played with, Spink as Diona. Oh, she's over here. Spink with Diona and me as Amber. I've played with NSL as Chi-Chi with me and Amber. I've played with the Amber and Ice pairing before. Something about Ganyu, absolutely, dude, it shreds, it tears, let me tell you. It just tears. Jean is going to go, and Stan is not a strong enough word. Jean was funny to me. I liked her as a character in the story and stuff. And then when I got her from a wish, it came completely out of nowhere. It was a solo wish. I was trying to get official. New Year's Day, actually, I think I got her. Her and Diona on the same day. Or did I get official on New Year's Day? I know I got Diona and someone else. Came out of nowhere. I didn't even know she was available in the Wish. She's my only 5-star character. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give her a go. She's one-handed sword character. Not really had the best track record. Kaya is the same, and he never really got that strong for me. Dude, Jean very quickly made her way onto the team. I ascended her last night, so she's 70. I haven't started leveling her up yet, but she's 70, like on her way to 80. So I just need to pump some XP into it to get it to 80. I've got the something fate or whatever. I've got the event sword, the Albedo Dragon Spine event sword I have on her. Just because it was so easy to max out, and it stayed relatively strong even outside of the event, so I just ran with it. Her E move is, first of all, incredibly satisfying. It's just a fun move to use. It's also very strong. She feels a little bit like Kaya. Her E move, and obviously her sword as well. Her E move feels like her burst, I think you call it, feels a little bit like the Animo version of Kaya's burst, except Kaya's burst, even with artifacts and stuff, only ever did like 500 or 600 for me, and hers without fail does like 3,000, which is insane. And then the fact that she heals as well, again, her Q, it does damage for one. It then can do even more damage if you use it on like fire, because it does a little bit. It does like a smaller version of Sucrose's Q, where it does like little air blasts, but it does damage it when you initially use it. It also gives a bunch of health when you initially use it, and then it leaves a big circle, which is like a healing zone to hang out in. She's so good. Her burst is really strong, and it sends enemies flying, which is fun. And her Q is both really strong. It does damage offensively, even though it's mostly a healing thing, and it's really strong for healing. I don't have a bad word about Jean, and as a character I love her. And also, you can't use the elemental burst on friendlies, but Spink was having some connection issues last week, and for some reason it was letting me use the elemental burst on Spink, and it was probably my favourite thing I've ever done in Genshin. I was just doing it over and over and over again, and it felt great. I have a good clip of it, which maybe I don't know, I don't want to edit this because it'll take forever, because the video is going to be so long and it takes forever to export, and then the file's massive. If I edit this, I'll stick the video up and you can see. But it was pretty satisfying sending my friend flying across the map. And by my friend, I mean Spink. It would have been satisfying doing it to anyone, but yeeting Spink, it felt pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Kaya! Dude, I had Kaya in my team for so long. I don't know, man. I'm going to just put him in alright. He's level 60, and then he just never got working for me. His sword always felt really weak, even if I, like, leveled it up. Which I know sounds stupid, just level the sword up and put strong artifacts on him and you'll be fine. I just couldn't make it work. Like I said, he was in my team from, like, getting him for a long time, basically. And obviously you get him relatively early. I just couldn't make it work. I don't know if that's just kind of the way it is. People don't like Amber. People don't like Kaya. People don't tend to use the main characters too much. Maybe it's just the ones you get given. But, like, I don't know, man. I just couldn't make it work. There would have been a time when I would have been like, yeah, I stand by him. And I would have been like, he's fine. He kind of gets it. he's stooped a little. He's stooped a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say get him out of here because I did use him for quite a while. I wasn't able to get it going. Catching. I really want catching. My main thing right now is Mona, is who I'm mostly aiming for. But catching's in the same. She's in standard wish, so I'm very much aiming for her as well. I think her teleport is really cool. Her little blink that she has, again, it's a unique ability, and I like the kind of unique abilities a lot of have. I tend to, if they have a unique thing, I tend to like that. I think it's really cool. I don't know how you can use it in combat, but again, NSL and Spink both have catching, and both have her decently highly ranked. I think they both have her around like 70 or 80 maybe even. So I don't have her, but I have seen two of my friends play with her quite a lot, for sure. She seems very strong. You know, she's a sword character. Her Q seems, well, she does the lightning all over the place. She's just a cool character. I really like her design. I just think she's pretty cool, and I would put her in a great character, and I would really like to have her at some point. I've got like ear, like feedback, like static in my ear. I don't know what causes it. It's my skull. I got a little bit of a mustache going on that I didn't worry about because with my webcam you can't see it because it's so far away and low quality. But definitely next time I do the end, I'm getting distracted. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I haven't used Klee, and Klee is another one of those. Unfortunately, no one in the group has Klee. I think she's pretty good. I actually think she's great, you know. I really like her because of her unique attack. She has the bombs, which no one else has anything even like. Obviously, it uses the book stuff, but I really like her attacks. You know, when I've done test runs as her and stuff, I like Klee. I like her character. I like her character design. I think she's cute. I think she's funny. I think her base attack is just really cool, and I think both of her elemental attacks, it's bombs, dude. I just think she's I just think she's a cool character. I just like her, and I think it's very easy to make her very strong because I think her attack is just like quite strong by default. I think I could be wrong, but definitely her ult and stuff. Yeah, the bombs are really cool. I like the bombs and the mines that she throws down. I like her. She reminds me of the Bomb King from Paladin. I think that's what he's called from Paladins. Lisa, I've got to be honest. I just don't really get her. I'm not a huge fan of her design. She makes me a little bit uncomfortable when she talks and she's in cutscenes. No, her design, okay, her design's fine. I don't like hearing her talk. I'll say that much. I think her character design's fine. I think her attacks, though, I couldn't make it work. Her like single click attack was never really doing much for me. Her hold attack, and straight up, I am sure that if you put the right artifacts on her, the right weapon on her, etc., etc., using her under the right circumstances in the right team, I'm sure she can do damage. She just wasn't very good for me. I don't like her E attack. I could never figure out how to use it properly. Her Q doesn't make sense to me. I just never could figure her out. Mona. So Mona is another one of those characters. Mona is my main target right now. Dude, I love Mona. I absolutely love her character design. I think Mona is great. I love Mona so much. I think her movement as well, the fact that she has unique movement again. Is it Ayaka is gonna have the same movement as Mona when she comes out, where she goes in the ground. But for now, and I didn't even know this until like yesterday when I was looking at her. And by yesterday I mean like half an hour ago. I don't know why I said yesterday. Before I started this video and I was looking, I didn't even know she was gonna have this move. So Mona's like, and obviously she's not in the game yet, so Mona's movement is unique, which I think is awesome. Her dodging, she's really, really quick. Spink has Mona and uses her a lot and has a very high level. So I've seen a lot of Mona and I've played with Mona a lot. Chasing Spink around with the Mona movement is impossible. She's so fast. Her Q move in a team is insane because it multiplies everyone's damage. So when you bop that, if you've got a full 4 going and all 4 of you have the multiplied damage, you do like half of a boss's health in the blink of an eye. So I want Mona because, like I said, my only water character is Barb, who as a support character and healing, fine. Although again, she's mostly been replaced with Jean right now. I don't have any water damage. So that's what I want Mona for. A, to have some water damage, and B, just because I really like Mona. But Spink's had Mona for like a couple months now and plays as her quite a lot. She's one of her main characters. So I've played with Moana a lot. I've seen her in action a lot, and dude, she's really, I like Moana. I'm a big fan of Moana. I think when you use her right as a support character a lot, I don't know if Spink uses Moana that much in solo, but definitely as a support character, she's really good. I like her. Which is ironic. I know I'm saying she's a great support character, and I'm saying I want her for damage. She's good for. I like her. I like Moana. I like Moana. I like Moana. Nangguam or Ningguan, or I just call her Ning for short, is another one of those I got, and I was very excited when I got her. And then I tried her for a little bit, decided she wasn't for me, and then got convinced that she was actually pretty good, pumped her up to about 50, put some artifacts on her. I just could never really make it work for me. However, she's Paul's strongest character. Paul mains her. I'm going to put her in pretty good. I really like her attack. Obviously, she's a magic character, but I really like that she doesn't just do like what Barb or Mona or Lisa feel like very similar attacks, even though they are slightly different for sure. But I like that it feels like she shoots these like geo rockets. That's dope, dude. That's sick as hell, and that's part of why I wanted to give her a go. And the way she like, you know, she does all this as she's like throwing these like rockets out, dude. That's sick. That said, I think it's one. She can sometimes be a little bit limited by the fact that she only does geo. She's shooting a geo attack. You look at someone like Amber. I'm doing charge shots with Amber 99% of the time, which is obviously fire, but if I have to, I can just not charge them, and it's still a physical attack. Same with Fischl. Fischl, she's charging the lightning attacks. She has a physical attack. And this is a similar situation to someone like Mona, or someone like, well, yeah, Mona as well, but Barb as well. Their attacks are water, so if you're not doing water, it's not like she's the only character that has this, but if it's something that doesn't take damage from Geo, she's essentially useless, unfortunately, which is fine. That makes sense, because you have different characters with different types, such as the way the system works. But I really like her attack, and I have seen the peaks of what she can do. Paul's Ning is very glass cannon. She dies quite a bit, and sometimes she can die quite quickly. However, he'll shoot against the right enemies. He'll just shoot like 5k, 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 like it's nothing. His Ning is so strong. I think her Q could do a little bit more. I think her elemental attacks let her down a little bit. Her E, her shield that she puts up, I don't really get. I feel like I've never really noticed it doing much. And maybe it's one of those, it's like a quiet helper. Maybe because I see him throwing it down when in co-op, when we're fighting bosses and stuff, and maybe it does more than I realise. But from what I can tell, I swear that shield doesn't even really do anything. They just run through it, right? Or around it. And then I think her Q could just be a little bit stronger, because it's just kind of one big attack. But I do like her. I like her damages. I like the single shots, and I like the charge shots she does. And I've seen how strong she can get, and she can get very fucking strong, let me say that much. Noel is an interesting one for me. I'm going to put her in stat is not a strong enough word. I didn't use her for ages until I suddenly needed a Claymore to do Geo, and Noel was the one that I had. So I gave Noel a go, and suddenly was like, oh shit, she's actually pretty good. I really like her. She suffers a tiny bit from being Geo, and I think that this is why I think this was more of a negative for Ning, her Geo attack, than it was, for example, Barb, because obviously Barb can't fight water people. I think Geo tends to be weaker against more things for some reason, I've noticed. Like, you know, it crystallizes sometimes. I don't think Geo is the strongest or most versatile power. Like fire. Obviously, it's good against ice, but fire, you'd think fire would be bad against water, but then it does vaporize damage. But Geo feels, there are a lot of situations where Geo isn't ideal, which basically nullifies her Q a little bit. However, against typeless enemies, or against the right type of enemies, her Q is very good. I think it's very strong. It lasts for quite a while as well, where she just gets the big long Geo sword that she can slash with. Her E is pretty cool. The shield, I'm not really sure entirely how it works or what it does, but I'll take it. But I like that her E does damage to the enemy you stood next to, and also gives you a little bit of healing. Her E is just kind of, it's a little bit of everything, right? It does a bit of damage if you stood close enough to an enemy. It gives you a shield, and it gives you a bit of a healing bonus for a few hits, which can also help your teammates a little bit. I like Noel. My Noel's pretty good. She's got the bell on her. I think she's pretty good. I don't know. I like it. I'm a fan of it. She's been on my team. She cycles in and out a little bit more now. admittedly, because I use Jean mostly for melee and also for healing. But I do really like Noel still, I'll admit. She's been 73 for ages, so she's very strong, she's very high level. And then as she kind of got to 70, I mostly pivoted my attention to Fischl and Jean at the same time. I like her. I definitely think she could be a little bit stronger. In some situations, as I said, the Geo thing is kind of a bit iffy for me. But no, dude, I like her. I'm a fan. Chi-Chi. I love Chi-Chi's character. I think she's absolutely adorable. She's got the saddest story, but I just think I don't know her it's not her character quest, right? She's involved. It's someone else's character quest that she's part of, if that makes sense. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I think so. I hope so, because it'd be nice to get a full character quest if we already had one, but maybe we have had one. Either way, no, maybe it was her character quest. I don't remember. I really like Chi-Chi's character. I think she's hilarious. I think she's adorable. Again, she's another one that I don't have, although she's in the standard wish, so maybe at some point, as I'm, you know, relentlessly trying to get Mona and catching, maybe at some point I'll end up with Chi-Chi. NSL loves her. I think she's NSL's favourite. Not his strongest. But I've played with her a lot. Her Q as a support move is very, very good. She does that thing where she marks enemies, and then if you attack the enemy with the mark, you get health back. You're gonna heal everyone with that. You drop that in the middle of a boss fight, it's fine. I really like her E. Something a little bit different. She does like a big ice swipe, and then she gets this like little Navi-esque, Sealy-esque orb that kind of moves around, and it hits enemies that are close to her. Alright, I'm back. Sorry I had to cut. It's a different day now. I had to move some things around. I didn't move anything around, but I had to cut it short really quick. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna do it. I realized when I had to do my little pause and then come back the next day to finish it. When I went to stop recording, it was 2 days later actually. Realized that this video is 35 minutes long already, which is too long. This was supposed to be a quick one. I don't know why everything I create is so damn everything about this channel and what I do on it is so damn long. I don't know why. I guess I just talk a lot. Me? Really? I'm doing it again. I'm wasting time. Let's get back to some Genshin to my Genshin tier list. How do I there we go. Okay, continue. How are we doing? So we were on Chi-Chi. I was saying something about how I like her Q attack. When you walk across the water, it freezes ice on the platform. I like her character. I think she's a great character. I don't know how strong she actually is. She feels pretty strong when we're paired up. When we're paired up, she feels pretty strong. So I'm gonna hit you with a great character on that one. This fella is why did it? We already did that fella. Razor. I think Razor's pretty sick. I actually straight up. I'm just gonna put him straight in the great character. I don't have Razor. I kind of forget that he's even a character you can get sometimes. But I think everyone. I think I might be the only one. I know Paul definitely has him, and I know Josh definitely has him, and I'm sure Spink and NSL both also have him. Regardless, at least 2 of the people in my crew have Razor, so I've seen plenty of him in action. He's a Claymore boy. His design is fucking sick. His hood that he has, and like his cloak that he wears, and his hair is really cool. He's got little tusks, or I guess they're probably teeth if he's a wolf. He's just a cool looking character. The character design's really cool, and I think that his moves, his ultimate where the big lightning wolf appears on his back and slashes the shit out of things. Fucking hell, man, that's sick, and it does pretty good damage. So that's pretty pogged as well. Sucrose. Look, I'm not in the business of upsetting people. It pains me to say this because I know how much I know how fond of Sucrose NSL is. I know she was his favourite for quite a while. I know she was his profile picture for quite a while. Eventually, he ditched her off, left her in the past, and moved on to Chi-Chi. That's fine. You know what? I've stood by mine. But you know if you want it, that's fine. That's his prerogative. I'm joking. This bitch kind of useless. I hate to say it. She kind of this girl. She been on expedition since day 1 for me, and she doesn't even do that anymore. I haven't been doing expeditions for about 2 months. I used to do them every day, and then just kind of got bored of. I know maybe I should. I don't know. It's whatever. I know. I'm sure that there are people who can use her very well, and I know that Jacob still levels her. I'm sure she's pretty high level for him, and he's got her like pretty strong. Her Q, by the way. you pair that bitch up, the fly thing that she throws out that pumps shit in the air. You get some fire on the ground, or you get some electricity going, and it starts blasting all the elemental effects in the air. Dude, that's sick as hell, and very, very strong. And a very good way at dealing with multiple quick enemies at once. And there was that one challenge on the treasure event last week where you only got 30 seconds and you had to kill 3 of the mages. Impossible, in my opinion. NSL managed to do it, and he managed to do it because of Sucrose. For that reason, I am not going to put her in the get her out of here. I'm going to at least upgrade it to her Q saves her. If she had a bad Q, I'm sorry, man. And I'm sure she's I think she's an okay character. To be honest, I'm not overly fond of her character too much either. She's not done much, but she was in Albedo's quest. I think if she gets her own character quest at some point, and I would like her to, for the record. If she gets her own character quest at some point, maybe I'll like her a little bit more. Potentially. But from what I saw of her on the Albedo quest, she just doesn't really... She's not really my sort of... I don't know. I'm not a massive fan. But her Q can be so strong that I'm going to bump her up to air. They're all right. Child is... If I can't get Mona, I will take Child, but he's a 5-star. Oh, Mona's a 5-star as well, though, actually. I like Child. I think Child, for the same reasons I like Deluxe, I like Child. I think they have similar moves. I like the Child has the switch thing, right, where it can switch between the swords and the bow and arrow. That's just cool. I've said before, just talking about switches. I've said before that I like when characters have unique things about them. I like, Mona's unique movement and Klee's unique attack and stuff. So I like that he switches between them. I think Child's pretty cool. And he's quite a DPS guy, and he's a water DPS, and water generally doesn't do a ton of damage for the most part. So I think it's cool that he exists and does water damage. And I think if you want a strong water character, I think your options are Mona or Child. So I'm going to put Child up there. Venti, I kind of don't think is very good from what I've seen and used of him. His E just kind of doesn't do much. It kind of does what Jeans does. It's an air blast, except instead of blasting someone away, you kind of lift him up a little bit, and it kind of pumps him up in the air, but it does way less damage. He can float himself up, which is kind of cool. And then his Q is just like a big, massive blast, right? I don't know, he's kind of cool. He's a bow and arrow character, but then his charge shot doesn't really do any sort of extra special thing. I've got to admit, straight up, just for transparency, as far as like how much I know about each of these, Venti's probably like right at the bottom. So I definitely could probably be convinced he could be higher, and I think people actually quite like Venti, right? I think people at the least put him around here. As far as if I'm remembering correctly, I think people think quite fondly of him. I just am not a huge fan. And also in the main story, he's kind of annoying. Zhangling, I think, is a great character, I would say. Just misses out on stat is not a strong enough word. She was the first character I really wanted because you have a quest with it. Really early on, and so she was the first character I really wanted, and I remember grinding my ass off for the Spiral Abyss, then pumping a load of experience into her really early on, and then I just never use her. So I don't think I could put her up here, although she is 70 for me. I'm going to put her as a great character. I think she can be even higher, potentially for sure. Just for me personally, I haven't really used her enough to put her up there. But I like the spear. The spear's fun. There aren't many spear characters right now. Is she the only one? That's wild. I know this guy, which I'm about to get to, is unreleased. I know he's a spear character when he comes out. Damn, is she the only spear character? Am I dumb? She's the only spear character. That's wild that she has her own weapon type by herself. And like I said, I know eventually. Oh no, doesn't this fella, doesn't Zhongli, isn't he a spear guy as well? No, either way. Yeah, I like Xiaoling. I think she's a fun little character. Her E's really good for straight up just if you need fire damage. It's just good. You drop it and it just hits. It does decent damage and it's just straight up fire, which is pretty cool. And then her Q again is big damage and it's fire. I just like it. If you need fire damage, she's debatably the best fire DPS in the game. In my opinion, I'd probably put her second. I believe, as far as fire DPS goes, she's the one you want, as far as I know. Zhao, I don't know a great deal about, just because he's obviously unreleased. From what I've seen, I couldn't really, in good faith, put him much higher than this, just based on the fact that I haven't, you know, he's not in game yet, so I haven't really seen. But from what I've seen, he's fucking cool as shit, man. He looks like he's like Nightcrawler from the X-Men. If you haven't seen, like, he's another spear character, but when he moves and when he does his Q, he goes into this like weird like stealthy wolfy mode where he's doing flips all over the place. It's like you can't see him because there's like smoke around him, and he's like disappearing and reappearing like Nightcrawler. All kind of like what Catching does if you do a spam light attack on like, is it like the fourth attack, she like disappears for a second. He's fucking dope. I mean, look at his design. I have no idea who this guy. I didn't know who this guy was until like 2 days ago, by the way. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, I've seen the gang talk about this guy. So I don't know if he's real. He's gonna be in the game at some point, but I don't know who. Like some of them. Like, I have no idea. Actually, to be fair, I have no idea who this is. But usually, like, you recognize these characters from like the story and stuff. I don't know. Was he in the story at some point? I don't think he was. I don't think she was either. And obviously Albedo wasn't. So that makes it. So I guess they don't have to be in the story. But like, literally, I know nothing about this guy. So I don't really know much about like what he's like as a character, because obviously he's not like. I don't. Maybe he was. No, is he friends with Zhongli? Is he one of Zhongli's boys? I don't know a ton about him, basically, so without knowing much about him, I can't put him much higher. I think Chrome's crashed, by the way, because I can't do anything right now, yeah. So I don't know a great deal about him, but from what I've seen, he just looks cool. He just looks cool, and I guess that's enough to get him pretty good. Some of these characters are out here trying their absolute best. My Traveler's like level 50 or something, and they get they're alright. This guy, hey, his Q's pretty cool. He can be pretty good. This one, Zhang Chu, I think is his name. I'm going to be honest, I just think he's kind of crap. He's a single sword guy, I don't know. And I feel like I need to mention it every time because I feel bad insulting people's favourite characters. I don't know if this is anyone's favourite character. I feel like this is the TikTok thing where it's like, if this is your favourite, you are not real, you do not exist. This is nobody's favourite, or whatever it says. I got one yesterday and it was British bands, and they had Catfish on You Do Not Exist. And I was like, hey, Catfish aren't my favourite British band, but they're up there, let me say that much, mister. I just, I don't know, man. I don't think he does much. I think his Q just sucks, man. He gets, like, the swords around him. I just don't get it. And like I said, I don't get it. Maybe he can be poggable under the right circumstances, with the right tools, with the right guider. I don't want to go too hard on the guy because I've barely used him, and by barely I mean like not at all, apart from when I had him in like a test run, and then I've just seen some YouTube videos, so I don't really know, and no one in the crew has him, so it's hard to judge him. From what I've seen, I don't think he's particularly good. I think this lady is called Chongyon. This is another Bennett, Sucrose, etc. situation. I actually do think she's pretty good. You know what? I actually think she's fine. For a little while, I didn't really rate her. She's interesting because she does, again, she's fire DPS, right? That's what her main, because her E is just like a big fiery slash, or a couple of big fiery slashes, something like that, and then her Q is like a big, like there's like a circle of fire and it all shoots up, and like in a pretty big area. So for fire damage, she's pretty good. Her Q is a really strong fire attack, and then her E is like consistent fire. So if you need fire DPS, she's pretty good. Outside of that, and again, this is, like I said, this is Josh's, I don't want to say main, because you don't really have a main, because you have like a team of 4. This is the first character, like when I first went to Josh, when we first co-op Josh's world, he was using this lady, and he's stuck with her ever since. He's like level 80 now or something. He's got her pretty strong. So as someone who's been in a team where someone else has been using her quite a lot, I've never been like, wow, she sucks. She's good. She's good. She is good. I've got to give credit where she is a good character, and she fits in, you know. Josh has got her pretty strong. Josh knows her strengths. He uses her quite well. So I've seen her do pretty well, and I know she can be pretty strong. I just think to my personal taste, she just doesn't jump out at me too much. There's nothing there that's exciting me enough to bump her up to the great character level. That's either exciting me enough, or that's like, you know, someone like this or someone like this, or that's like contributing enough, i.e. like Barb is not exciting at all, but she's just done too much to not be up here. Jinhyun, she's pretty cool. There's nothing about her that excites me, except maybe her accent. And then we've got Zhongli. I actually think Zhongli's fucking sick, man. I don't know if I could put him this high just because I don't have him and haven't used him. He's kind of like Geo Traveler, except actually useful at all. He's just a badass looking character. I mean, even just his face, if you see him, he's just a cool guy. The way he talks is really cool, like his voice is really... He's just a dope dude. But then his moves, he places those Geo pillars that are really tall and thin, and they do like consistent Geo damage, like the Geo Cube does when it hits the pillars and they hit like the ground. It's really cool, and they are pretty strong as well. Like, it's not just like, ooh, they do some Geo damage. Like, nah, they're strong as shit, man. Nope, just more notifications of people telling me their 4 favorite games. This dude, he's cool. What can I say? He's cool. And you can place 2 of those pillars. You can place them wherever you want. So you can place 1 and they have a pretty big range, and then you can place 1 a little bit further and you've got like a pretty good, a lot of ground covered that's just getting hit with constant good Geo damage. And then his Q, he just summons a massive fucking meteor from the sky and slams it down. Now, obviously, if you don't need the Geo damage, neither of those are particularly useful, so you wouldn't use him against a Geo character or boss, obviously. However, he's fucking cool, man. And like I said, the both those moves, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, just 'cause I'm a little bit tired, but they're good moves. He's strong. He's strong. He's cool. What do you want me to say, man? And you can climb and this is why I say he's like better than Traveler, because you can even climb his rock pillar as well. So you could just use that instead of the Geo. I just think he's freaking cool, man. So maybe if I had him, he'd slide up. But yes, a great character. That said, my phone is flashing again. Oh, whose favorite games am I looking at this time? Nier Automata, Persona series, Undertale, Zelda series. Not gonna tag anyone. I don't know why I put so much pressure on trying to think of people to tag, and now the more notifications I get, the more people are like, I have no friends, sorry. And I'm like, damn, I should have just... thank you guys for watching. I guess we'll end this here because this has been long. This is my tier list. Screenshot it, soak it in. This is the definitive. And this is, I know I've said this before, but I genuinely feel like this is a pretty fair one. I don't think there's anything overly egregious in this. Like, as I'm scanning through, I'm like, nah, nothing here is like... And there's some bias in being like, okay, so obviously the characters I use I'm going to have high up, because I wouldn't use them if I didn't think they were really good. So there may be some characters, like if you don't use Jean, you probably wouldn't put Jean so high, and maybe she'd be a little bit further down, or vice versa. If you do use Albedo, you'd probably put Albedo a little bit higher. But I feel like outside of that natural bias of your own characters, I don't think there's anything overly egregious here. I don't think I've upset anyone too much with this one. I've said that before and been wrong, but I think that's fine. I think that's fine. So with that, that's the tier list. Screenshot it, do what you want to do with it. I will link this tier list in the description. I labeled the tiers myself, so it won't have the same labels. But my labels are stupid anyway, so if you want to use them, you can. If not, fair enough. Name your own labels. I always love to see people's labels. That said, I will link this in the description, and I definitely, absolutely want to see people's tier lists on this one. I love comparing tier lists with people. It's so good, dude. That said, let me pivot to scene. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, good, and that's pretty much it. I just want to see you guys' tier list. Sorry this went for so long, they always do. Although I'm not surprised, because the Avatar tier list I did was also like an hour and 10 minutes long or something stupid. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go get a shower and hopefully finally sort this garbage out. Like, what is it doing? Like, what's this big... Why is there so much, like, real estate on this side of my forehead? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I am glad to hear it. If you didn't, then you're probably not still here listening to me right now. That said, have a great weekend. I don't know when this is going to go up, actually, because I don't know if I can record tomorrow. I'm going to do my my world quizzes of the world video tomorrow, in which case that'll be up tomorrow, so I guess this will be up on the weekend, in which case I hope you've had a good weekend. If I can't record tomorrow, I'll upload this tomorrow. I don't need to be telling you guys this, you'll see, but have just whatever day it currently is, I hope it's a good one, and has been a good one, and will continue to be a good one, and also maybe tomorrow can also be a good one, if we're so lucky. And guys, for watching, appreciate you all, and I will see everyone in the next video. Bonk.